Right then, welcome back. Today we're doing a setup for this, the 2017 GSX-R600 Suzuki, and we've been about the doors again. I ran the same tracks that I ran on the 05 just to give me a comparison and say what's the best bike, what's it like, and this, that and the other. So went to UMC and surprise, surprise, ran a medium front, soft rear. We were cooking the rear tyre a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. Then we went playing in the rain at VIR and possibly a little too stiff for those conditions. Now the bike is nervous. It is a nervous bike. I was mucking about with preload settings and rake and trail settings and all sorts. We went to Brands, had a nightmare, ran softs, and it just didn't have any rear grip whatsoever. It would not drive forwards. As soon as I was getting on the gas, it was stepping sideways, and it was just mucking me about. Went to Tsukuba in there, into that last corner. You can see the bike moving about. It was just all over the place. It was really, really tricky to get it set up. Now, it's not a bad bike. At Alton Foster's, it came good. And I look at the lap time and then look at the leaderboards. That's where I've got the 11th from. I haven't been setting laps, although bear with me, later on today there's a little treat. But yeah, as we got on and time kind of evolved and we went on and the bike got better and better and better. So we went to Kanto Wet to finish it off. It's sliding about, moving about, it's all over the shop. But it set a time in the top 10, 6th. Now that leaderboard is everything. So yeah, you'll see later on. But anyway, off we went, all around the doors like I said, and well, that's where we ended up. Now the setup, the front's quite stiff, the rear's quite soft, any more rear preload and the rear tyre just will not key into the tarmac, so to speak. As soon as you get on the gas or as soon as you put the engine braking up to 3, the back end's sliding about, it won't settle into corners. So the preload setting on the rear looks quite low. By all means, stick it in a bike, ride it. If you find a solution, let me know, because I mucked about with it and I ended up chasing my own tail and I wasn't making a note of what I'd changed and what I hadn't, and ended up in a bit of a mess with it. But it's not a bad bike. I think the 05's faster, but we'll come on to that in a minute. So pros, it feels quick, it's a newer bike, the engine revs more freely, it responds better to braking and steering inputs. It warms its tyres well. It doesn't seem to matter whether you run a soft, a medium or a hard, with a couple of little tweaks and it'll warm any tyres up. And it has the new dash. Yes, I'm scraping the barrel for pros because it's basically a GSX-R600, the same as the 05, just with slightly different plastics on it. Cons, it's not quick. The 05 is faster. It's not as easy to use, it's not as nice to use, but it is faster. The bike, the 17, is nervous. You up the rear preload, you can try offsetting it with a rake and trail, but again, you end up with something that is properly nervous. So if you're on the brakes a little bit late and you try and trim your line with a little bit of rear brake or a little bit of front brake, the bike is all over the place. It is quite fiddly to get right, and it also has a wheelie issue. The same as the 05. It must be something in the Suzuki's, because other 600s, the Honda and the MV and stuff like that, don't have the same problems. You can run anti-wheelie one quite happily and they won't try and kill you. But yeah, they're the traction control, engine braking and anti-wheelie settings. So 2 for anti-wheelie, 3 for engine braking and 0 for traction control, and that's it. It's not a bad bike if you're into your 600s and you do loads of miles on it. I mean, I've only used it at six tracks. I did go back to Kanto, but I'll cross that bridge later on this afternoon. And yeah, there we go. So thank you for watching, thank you for giving feedback, commenting, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, and I promise not to put as many 600 races out for this one. There was the storm that came in, we had no internet, no electricity, I was struggling, I didn't want to risk turning my Xbox on and then there being a power cut and it making a mess of everything. So I kind of had a weekend where I wasn't mucking about on the Xbox too much, so that's why there's so much 600 videos out. I know they're quite boring, well I think they are anyway, and that's not necessarily a good thing for me to say, but the 17 one, if there's been anything interesting I'll put it out, but don't worry, I've done a Fireblade next. We're on to the quick stuff again, so yeah. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. Fingers crossed. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Take care. Peace.